Today we embark on an epic Pato Aventura, 8 cities, 121 stops, 7 days exploring Spain. The good, the bad, and a few moments of pure chaos. Just looking for the route and key details? No worries, I've got all the itineraries linked in the description. But if you want to live the experience with me, stick around because the most unexpected stories are coming up.
Hello, Pato Adventures. Welcome to EveTripsBBB, bueno, bonito y barato, where we explore the world together with our beloved Pato Aventurero. Find the full itinerary for free on Google Maps in the description. Subscribe and join us on this exciting Pato adventure.
Day 1, Madrid. The duck adventure journey begins. I arrived in Madrid on a Saturday at 6 p.m. right in the heart of autumn. As a true Pato Aventurero, the first thing I did was dive straight into the metro. If you're already familiar with the system, getting around is easy. But if you need a survival tip, check out this video on the New York subway. It'll give you a good idea. Duck tip. I didn't have mobile data, so I took advantage of the airport's free Wi-Fi to map out my route. Great discovery. If you don't close the map, GPS keeps working. But of course, I closed it. Good thing I took screenshots. First impressions of Madrid. The anxiety was real. I thought it was already too late to do anything and that I'd only have Sunday to explore the city. But one thing really struck me, the similarity between Madrid's neighborhoods and those in Colombia. Many travelers have felt the same. What do you think? After lunch, we kicked off the day with duck energy at full blast. At Plaza Mayor, I felt something incredible, so many languages gathered in one place. Oh, and another detail, the roundabouts in Madrid. They are spectacular and I never expected them to be so iconic. Madrid at night, wings held high. We wrapped up the day with a few beers at 1:30 a.m. But the most impressive thing wasn't the beer. Madrid was still buzzing. We hopped on a night bus and the energy was unreal, so many people, so much life. It felt more like 8 p.m. than nearly sunrise. Day 2, Madrid, sun, sandwiches and Europark. The adventure continues as we explore Madrid, visiting some key spots before heading to Príncipe Pío the station, where we'll set off for Europarque. The ticket vendor convinced me to buy a round-trip ticket right there, something that, as I later learned, is pretty uncommon. But hey, Pato Aventurero doesn't hesitate, so we stuck to the plan. The scorching heat and an unexpected lifeline. Madrid welcomed us with a blazing sun, and the journey felt endless. Luckily, we stumbled upon a roadside fair arty world where we stopped for a quick bite. Fun fact, in Colombia, a bocadillo is a guava sweet. Here, it's a ham sandwich. Which one gets your vote? I wasn't entirely convinced, but hey, taste is subjective. That's probably why I don't talk about food much on the channel. Europark, exploring the Pato Aventurero way. Europarque is all about seeing the world in true bueno, bonito y barato style. Spain is pretty advanced when it comes to payment systems. Cards and touchless payments everywhere, even in small food shops. Except at Europark. With that scorching sun, my thirst, and not a single usable card, dehydration almost caught me. Duck tip. Always carry some cash. It never hurts to have a backup. Madrid keeps surprising but not always in the best way. One thing I noticed right away was that people weren't very friendly. I was told that in general Spaniards tend to be like this. But for me it was definitely a cultural shock. Their culture feels a bit rough. Are they really unfriendly to tourists? Like the real say? Or is it just a different way of socializing? I don't know, but tell me, what do you think? Metro chaos, a classic Pato Aventurero moment. Guess what happened when we tried to take the metro back? Our return tickets did not work. Of course, that's not how it's supposed to be done, but we were already knee-deep in the problem. To make things worse, the ticket machine was broken, and since there was no staff around, we had no choice but to squeeze through together, hoping luck was on our side. But of course, luck ran out fast. A guard saw us and called us over. With my nerves through the roof, I couldn't stop laughing. We explained everything and by sheer luck, I had kept the ticket as proof. Her reaction? She looked at the ticket, then at me, then back at the ticket, and asked, "Why did they sell you two tickets going the same way?" After all the chaos, we headed to Parque del Retiro, a much needed break before closing the day at an incredible restaurant, Restaurante Bestial by Rosy La Loca. Madrid turned out to be smaller than I expected, which allowed us to cover 42 stops in just a day and a half. And tell me, did you picture Madrid as a big city or a smaller one? Day 3, from Madrid to Valencia, extreme driving and golden rules. We rented a car at Madrid's airport, and guess what? I forgot my passport because I didn't want to misplace it. But with a little strategy and paying extra for full insurance, problem solved, and off we go cruising through Spain. Driving in Spain versus the US. The highway a whole different universe. In the US, you merge quickly to avoid disrupting fast-moving traffic. In Spain, the protocol is clear, turn on your blinker and drivers actually let you in. Point for Spain. Golden rules for surviving the road. In the US, if you need to merge onto the highway, you tap the solid line and go for it. In Spain, don't even think about it. Here, you can't cross continuous lines. You wait until they're dashed and then you move. Flaco was on the verge of a heart attack watching my driving. And now, tell me, who gets the point here? The left lane challenge. My GPS told me I needed to exit on the left in a few kilometers. So like a true Pato Aventurero, I dived into the left lane. Miscalculation? Drivers in Spain don't mess around. They tailgated me aggressively, flashed their lights, and even though I had no space to shift right, they seemed determined to make my life impossible. Point for the US, where this isn't as common. And the best part? In the end, I didn't even need to exit, I just had to stay in the left lane. So I basically threw myself into the nightmare of aggressive traffic for no reason. In the US, highway exits are clearly marked. In Spain, well, not so much. Point for the US on road clarity, the roundabout mystery. Roundabouts in Spain have their own survival manual. I was told that if you stay inside, you have to use your turn signal. That makes no sense to me. I'm used to only signaling when exiting. I also learned that once you enter, you can't exit immediately. You have to go around again. Can any Spaniards explain this escape system? And one key detail. Lots of speed cameras. So watch that accelerator. We arrived in Valencia just in time. The host was a headache. Even Flaco, who has the patience of a saint, couldn't stand him. Has a check-in ever been this complicated for you? The problem? The listing mentioned a wide time range, but in reality, the host only wanted an exact hour. I explained that driving from Madrid, traffic could change everything. After several back and forths, he finally said, "I've decided to work from home and wait for you." The house was beautiful, but the room had some rather strange photos of the host. Finding parking in Valencia and in Spain in general was a whole new level of stress. Driving through its narrow streets, packed with clustered motorcycles, doesn't make for the most enjoyable experience. Honestly, the public transportation is so good that I'm not sure if renting a car in Spain is even worth the hassle. Do you prefer getting around by public transport or renting a car? Valencia, a stunning contrast. We explored 18 stops in this magical city, where the old and the futuristic coexist in a spectacular way. What do you prefer, history or futuristic design? Then we went to eat, and I finally understood what tapas are. Tapas are small portions of food. Yes, exactly that. One portion of fries, another portion of pasta, another portion of calamari. And did you know that's what tapas are? Day 4, from Valencia to Barcelona. Hidden gems and a dreamy town. The day kicked off with the mission of exploring some special corners. We set out for Port Saplaya and Plaza de la Señoría 25, a small street with a unique charm. Key detail, I forgot to include these spots in the Valencia video, so here's the extra scoop for you. stop in Peniscola, one of Spain's most beautiful towns. On the way, we made a stop in Peniscola, and honestly, what a gem of a place. We hit the beach, snapped the obligatory photo at the sign, and set off to explore every corner of the Mirador. Must-visit stops: Mirador La Portera, Portal de San Pere, Bufador, La Casa de les Mechines, Castel del Papaluna, El Parc d'Artilleria. Each spot has its own charm, making this stop feel like a journey within the journey. The heat was intense, so after a refreshing ice cream, we hit the road toward Barcelona. The plan was to start exploring the city that same day and continue the next. But destiny had other plans for us. Flaco has a car, I have a car. But I'm used to refueling frequently because I know that finding a gas station on the road isn't always easy. He told me, let's wait a little, until that little wait turned urgent. We stopped at the first station we found, and I was already stressed out. Driving for hours on an almost empty tank isn't exactly the most relaxing situation. After waiting for some people deep in conversation, we finally parked and went to pay for the gas. Here's where things get weird. The store clerk tells us, refuel with the pump that says tourist, tourist, tourist. We repeat, tourist. But here's the madness. The pump didn't fit the car, so we filled up however we could. This gas station had no numbers, no names, just drawings. We left thinking everything was fine. But right before entering the highway, the car started shaking terribly. The first thing I thought, we put diesel, turned off the car immediately and called the rental company. Have you ever had a fuel-related disaster on a trip? After the fuel accident, they sent us a tow truck and a taxi to take us to the company's nearest office, Barcelona. The insurance covered everything except exactly that. My best friend, furious, called the gas station to ask, why did you sell us diesel when we asked for gasoline? Guess what the lady replied? Drop your comments below. You parked the car there, so I sold you diesel. What? We all sat there stunned in the car. Is this normal, or did we just experience the exception of the century? Would it have been too hard for her to just say, we don't sell gasoline here? Upon arriving in Barcelona, we were sent from counter to counter until we finally got a replacement car. But there was one small detail. All the lights were on. The explanation? Don't worry, it just hasn't been reset. Not worry? I drove so tense after that, wondering if it would suddenly turn off, explode, or disintegrate. But we finally hit the road to the Airbnb. After parking the car, we started searching for the Airbnb. And someone, not saying who, entered the wrong address. Result: we were 30 minutes away by car and an hour by bus. After everything that happened, I really didn't want to drive anymore. So we took the bus instead. We arrived close to 11 p.m. and luckily, the host was amazing, nothing like the one in Valencia. He welcomed us warmly and genuinely cared about us. El Flaco was already feeling down. But as a true Pato Aventurero, I told him, no, Flaco, worse things have happened to me. Let's not let this ruin our trip. Tomorrow we keep the party going. And just when we thought the day was over, a full-blown argument serenade from the neighbor's house. Zero sleep for us? What else could possibly happen? Flaco says it's all because of that salt spill at lunch before reaching Valencia. I don't know, what do you think? Bad host, GoPro battery jumping into a fountain, gas station disaster. And well, the rest is history. Day 5, Barcelona, just one day but an unforgettable journey. With great energy, we kicked off the adventure in this highly anticipated city, Barcelona. We only had one day to explore, so we had to make every second count. By this point, Spanish architecture had become familiar to me, churches, charming streets. But everything changed completely when I arrived at La Sagrada Familia. Simply spectacular. After that, we embarked on the walk of a lifetime at Montjuic National Palace. Yes, our legs were begging for mercy, but every step was worth it. Although stay alert for pickpockets. Barcelona was an incredible experience, and I have to say it. Thank you, Flaco, for making this trip so special. Oh, and so many handsome Spaniards everywhere. Do you think Spaniards are good looking? What was supposed to be a 2-day tour, we managed to do in just one, with a total of 28 stops. We ended the night with a flamenco show, the perfect way to close our Barcelona adventure. Day 6, Bilbao, Zaragoza, a strategic stop with local flavor. I love making the most of the journey, so we decided to stop in Zaragoza. I always seek out local food, because that's where you truly feel the authentic flavors. After lunch, we set off to explore. 10 stops in total, each with its own charm. Plaza del Aseo, Museo de Tapices, Catedral del Salvador de Zaragoza, Catedral Basílica de Nuestra Señora del Pilar, Fuente de la Hispanidad, Murallas Romanas de Zaragoza, Gallagher Irish Tavern, Puente de Santiago, Puente de Piedra de Zaragoza, Callejón Zaragozón, Harry Potter, Reino de Juguetes. Without a doubt, my favorite spot was the Catedral Basílica de Nuestra Señora del Pilar. Majestic, imposing, and filled with captivating history. Something curious about many churches. You have to pay to enter, so I only visited the free ones. Would you pay to enter a church, or do you prefer exploring only the free ones? The drive to Bilbao was a gem in itself. Northern Spain's landscapes are mountainous, lush green, and the weather is much cooler. Giant bulls appeared along the road, adding a surreal touch to the scenery. Honestly, I didn't know what to expect, but what fascinated me the most, visiting the largest floral arrangement in the world. The people here were incredibly kind. The typical parking dilemma in Spain. No matter where you go, finding parking is a challenge. Bilbao was no exception. Although they say it rains a lot here, we had spectacular weather, perfect for exploring without the extreme heat of the south. Bilbao pleasantly surprised me, and I definitely recommend visiting. Totally worth it with its 13 stops. Day 7, Gijón, the hidden gem and a family reunion. A charming town with great weather, close to the sea and a magical atmosphere. The people here are super friendly, something I loved about this area. What did I miss? Trying Asturian-style cider. But hey, there's always next time. I noticed that Spain is very regionalist, with highly divided communities, many having their own language, and a surprising level of rivalry between them. The best part of Gijón, my family prepared a delicious Spanish dish, some waffles with lemon, and of course Colombian food, which is always a win. Thank you, family! 7 stops in Gijón, enjoying every corner. Las Letronas, Fuente y Estatua de Pelayo, Árbol de la Sidra, Plazuela del Marqués, Plaza Mayor, Paseo del Muro de San Lorenzo, Calle Corrida. Day 8, back to Madrid and a nostalgic ending. After so many adventures, in the blink of an eye, the trip was over. It was time to return to Madrid, face the car situation, and figure out what's next. Hours of driving later, we made a strategic stop at the Chinese buffet in Príncipe Pío. Thanks, Flaco, for the treat. On the way home, I really wanted to eat at a Madrid restaurant, but we lost the reservation. Here's the info in case you get the chance to visit. Casa Botín, hope you get to go. A farewell with feelings. Early the next morning, it was time to head back to Boston. But not without leaving a piece of myself in Spain. Flaco is like a brother to me, and sometimes I miss him a lot. Do you have a friend that close? Hope you enjoyed this little gossip and found some useful travel tips along the way. And what happened with the car debt? If you want to know, let me know.
And so this Pato adventure comes to an end. But don't worry, more incredible destinations await us soon. Remember, the itinerary is in the video description. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a like, and share so more Pato adventures can enjoy these journeys. Until next time, Pato Adventurers, bye!